Let's talk Golden State Warriors. Welcome back. Thanks for being here once more. Who is excited? Tomorrow is another game day, and today we actually gonna cover one major thing. Who are the big winners so far and the big losers of the training camp and the first preseason game? Obviously, a lot of expectation building up around the starting lineup, who is gonna get those minutes, who is gonna fulfill the Klay Thompson gap. A lot was said, a lot of guesses around the players, a lot of new players, veterans, young core developing, expectations around them. So I want to know your opinion. Leave there in the comments. Who do you think are the big winners and the big losers? And before we go on, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get to that 8,000 mark, 8,000 subscribers before the opening night, and I hope you help with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. So who is the big loser so far of this training camp and preseason? And look, I understand it's too early, right? I think everything can change. Maybe tomorrow, not even we're going to see the same starting five. But looking to what happened so far, and also all this that I'm going to tell you right now is based on the expectations, right? So I think the big loser is Andrew Wiggins. And but Andrew Wiggins didn't play. I know, we all know. And that's the problem. I think Wiggins is coming from the worst season in his career. He was a key player in 2002, so we just literally seeing him going down. And I said here before, and I do understand, and I'm compelled about that. Like, he had a really big personal issue that took him time off the team, that took him, like, obviously the mindset is not just there, and it's understandable. But looking at the team right now and all the competition that is going on, I think he's one of the big losers because he already sort of lost that training camp in Hawaii. He was there, he was participating, and let's be clear about it, in the sense that he was around the team, but obviously isolated with mask. He wasn't in the rotations, but he was seeing what's going on. While on the other hand, you have other players that they were there and they were already getting hit up, right? Getting those minutes like in the training camp and everything. He lost the first preseason game that other people had the opportunity to step up. Right now, there's a big question. I think that opening night, if Wiggins is health and he comes back, he's in the starting five for Steve Kerr. I think Kerr trusts him. Kerr said in the interviews recently that he's in a good shape. He's with his mind very peaceful right now, everything organized. So I do think that and I said this in the last video here, I think he's part of the starting five for now, or like for the first games at least. But it's obviously create that question mark, and there's so much external pressure over Andrew Wiggins right now, like people questioning his big contract, not playing, having the worst season. So I do think everyone is expecting him to show. And more important, for the Warriors, and even for me, I said that here before, everyone is looking to him and thinking, like, is he bouncing back? If Wiggins doesn't bounce back, we don't have a chance. We're going to need to push some big trades. So that's interesting, and I think he's the big loser right now because of all the situation being out and now having to prove, right? When you talk about the expectations, he's the one that has to prove the most. And don't miss the opportunity to get all kinds of Golden State Warriors products with discount. And if you are in the US, there is also free shipping. You can get t-shirts like this one. You can get hats. You can get any of those frames back there. Anything of the Golden State Warriors you will find there, and they are all official products. Just use the link, buy it, and you can get amazing discounts. The second big loser so far for me, which I think there was a lot of, like, again, creating expectations and then things not just realizing, not just happening yet, it was Buddy Hield. When Buddy Hield came, he's an elite shooter, one of the best so far, and has won 3-point contests. But when you look for the first preseason game, he wasn't in the starting five, which was the guess for a lot of people, just sort of like replacing Klay Thompson. He wasn't there. And when he came in, he actually wasn't like, he didn't outstand. And if you look to Steve Kerr just said, what he's looking for these guys, the competition is really high. The Warriors have a big roster, like the depth We don't have like too many all-star level players, but we have like above average players. So you have a lot of competition. So you need to outstand. When you get there, you need to play to a level that the coach look at you, that Steve Kerr look at the player and say, I cannot play this guy. I need to give him minutes. And I don't think Buddy Hield did that. He shoot only 20% from three-point shooting. That is his best skill. We know that he struggles, like, and the big problem with Buddy Hield is the defense. So I think he didn't outstand so far. So he has these other 5 games where he's going to need to prove and show that he deserves more minutes. Otherwise, he's probably going to start losing that over time. So those are the 2 big losers for me so far. And I want to make one note. I don't think he's a big loser, but I think he has a lot to prove, is Jonathan Kuminga, right? Kuminga has always the discussion about being a 4, being a 3. He had the chance of starting as a 3, and I think he did like fine. Again, Kerr is going to look for these guys and see who does more than fine, right? Who outstands on top of the others, who shines, and that's what is going to make them get more minutes. And I don't think JK did that just yet. So all of them, they all can bounce. They all have more opportunities. I know it's really early to say that and to think that this is actually the final result. But those are the 3 ones that for me, they are more under pressure at this moment. The big winners so far for me, it's first D'Anthony Melton, right? He came really like not much media, not much like saying about him. Obviously, a few people already commenting that he could be the big steal of this off season. But he has come. He had an injury last season that got him out for so many games. So there wasn't many expectation around him. And then we come for the first preseason game, and very quietly, he's the starting lineup, pairing with Stephen Curry. He got praised by Steve Kerr. He did play well, shoot well from the floor. He's a good defender, so he balanced with Curry there, like he can cover the perimeter. So I do think without building anything, like any expectations around him, he came, catch that spot, the shooting guard spot, and did really well. Did what was expected from him, so he might even take that spot for now. Why I say for now, it's uncertain what Steve Kerr will do around that position number 2 and number 3. I understand there's a big pressure of giving Jonathan Kuminga space because of his contract negotiation, his age, his development, the belief that the franchise has around him. So I don't know if Wiggins is going to be moved for the number 2, like what is happening there. But Melton definitely, for now, he's 1 step ahead of the others. The other one that really shined, and we spoke here before, and I think made a point, was Moses Moody, right? Kerr said that was just like a numbers game and rotation trying to feed first preseason game. But the reality is like when he built that second unit, Moses Moody was kicked out of that, right? He went like later on in the game, but he did really well because he came and he showed like to Kerr that I need more minutes. I deserve that. I'm improving, and he did really well. He shined in the first preseason game, has been showing. He got praise over training camp as well, that he had really good days. So I do think that he also understands, as Jonathan Kuminga, that he's in a contract negotiation and he needs to step up, and he did that really well so far. So I would expect for him to get more minutes and maybe even already cracked on that second unit for playing more in the second preseason game tomorrow. The third that I want to mention as a big winner here, that was a lot less expectation around him. So many videos, for example, that I have seen talking about the Warriors roster was leaving this guy out, was Lynn Waters, right? Not just he hit that buzzer beater that got all the media attention, but everyone knew he was a sharpshooter. And I even had people here in the channel, if you go over the videos and over the polls that I post in the community tab, saying that he deserved a starting lineup spot, which I do think is exaggerating, but he might get some more minutes to see how he proves himself, how he reacts to playing with those larger, with that second unit, or even like with some starters, right? What do I mean by that? So recapping, he hit the buzzer beater. He had a 5 out of 7 from 3-point which was really well. He was the big scorer in the team on that first preseason game. But we need to keep in mind when you look for those guys coming late that, and mainly in preseason, they are also playing against other guys that are a lower level, right? So, without offending anyone, but they are coming from the second unit, like from the third unit. So they're guys that they are theoretically less skillful than the starting lineup of the other team. So what I think they need to prove now is like, okay, Moses Moody and Lead Waters, they did really well. Now, if I give you a spot, more minutes when you have the other team playing with better guys, how do you perform? And I think that's also what Steve Kerr might try to test in the second preseason game tomorrow. So reminding, tomorrow the Warriors are playing against the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento at 7:30. I'm going to put you in the screen right now the entire preseason schedule. So you also see that the next game coming on Friday, we are playing first game in the Chase Center against the Sacramento Kings as well. And then we played Detroit Pistons, Lakers, and Lakers again. And we wrapped it preseason games at October 18, reminding our opening nights October 23rd against the Trail Blazers. So those are the big winners, the big losers for me. I want to know your opinion as well. Leave in the comments. And one more thing, a big winner of the NBA, of the Warriors, of everything else is Stephen Curry. And we have said that so many times here. So today it was released that annual GM report where they asked the GMs a lot of questions. And not to my surprise, but Curry won. He was selected as the best one in 4 categories. So he was selected as the best leader in the NBA, the best pure shooter in the NBA, best moving without the ball, player you want taking the final shot when the game is on the line. So Curry was selected in 4 categories, really high, and he was high on other categories as well. So again, that's the guy that changed the NBA forever. And by the way, keep an eye, in a few days, I'm coming with a video talking about Stephen Curry, and we're going to tell this story on how he changed the NBA. In the meantime, if you want to know my opinion why the Warriors shouldn't do this trade here, just take a look on this video.